Hello everybody and welcome to one more video on big units, and this time it is the companion of the last video. It is the Army of Northern Virginia. So I've showed you in the last video the Army of the Potomac for Gettysburg, and now this is Lee's army for Gettysburg, the most famous battle I think in the entire United States history, probably. So you have here an army almost as big as the Potomac army, but in fact inferior in numbers. It could have some more quality in terms of even of strategics due to Lee's brilliancy, of course. It could have also some more morale because the Confederates were coming from the Chancellorsville victory, a big victory over the Union. So these guys were extremely hardened. It is also said that the Confederates were generally more peasant-like people, so more used to nature, enduring nature, nature hazards, also knowing how to hunt, how to use the rifle better eventually than others. But in fact, I don't know if that thing was true, because up in the north there were also people working in mines and in industries, making heavy jobs, involving itself in brawls, which is very famous also in the big cities of America. So I don't know if this story of the superiority of the Confederate soldier is effectively that like that. I mean, I'm not really sure. That Lee is undoubtedly a military genius. I mean, and that the opponent on the other side, Meade, was a more, let's say, conservative guy. It is, I think, more or less true. But there is one thing. This army is going to be on the offensive with a little bit more than 70,000 men against more than 90,000 men from the Potomac Army in defense, in the famous hook formation. So it will be an extremely difficult task, because the Union will have interior lines, they will have reserve artillery, reserve infantry also almost everywhere, that they can plug the gaps if necessary. So it is going to be an extremely difficult battle for the Confederates, which, as everybody knows, ultimately they will lose. After those 3 famous days of beginning of July 1863. So you have here the organization. Organization is quite different from the it is different, yeah. There is a triangular thinking in each army corps. So there are 3 divisions here in the 1st Army Corps. There is 3 divisions here that you can see in the 2nd Army Corps, and there is let me try to see if I can show you all of them. You can see more or less, yeah. I have some cabinets on my back, so I can't do much more than this. Maybe from here I can show you. So you have here, the 3rd Corps with its triangular organization. So 9 divisions, 3 corps. Okay. So you have here the commander of the 1st Corps, a very famous guy. Let's try to see if it focus. Oops, here he is, Longstreet, Strelets figure, with some airfix by its side. Converted figures, I think, yeah, namely from the artillery set. This guy here is based on, of course, on the movie, and it is the ADC of Longstreet. So 1st Army Corps here with its commander. There was no Ewell for the 2nd Corps, so I made one out of the pictures I had, converting a number of figures in order to make this one. I think it got very close. And then you have here Hill. Let me say, yeah, AP Hill, exactly. So with his, oops, let's see if it focus. Sorry. Okay. With its famous red shirt, another conversion from exactly, I don't know which figures. And again, airfix and Italiari figures around Hill. So these are the commanders of the 3 corps, and I have also plenty of figures for, individually portraying each of the divisional commanders, even some regimental, some brigade commanders. For instance, you can see here General Hood. Let's try to focus. Sorry. Here he is, still with both arms. one of them will be lost in the battle, as everybody knows. This is Strelets again. Famous commanders, for instance, you see here Early, Jubal Early. Also, I try to make it as close as possible to the original. Then one or two. Sorry, but this filming is not coming very well, and I'm using my left hand to film, so it's even worse. I don't have my oldest son to help me here, so it's a problem. Okay. Then you have another one here, and this one is what? Rhodes, yeah. Also a very famous Confederate commander. Again, Strelets. Then some of them are quite usual. This is the Revel Union officer, of course painted as a Confederate and with a kepi, in order to represent Johnson's division. Let me see if I find important guys here. There's another one. I try to place him as General Heath, as close as possible to the one in the Gettysburg movie. Became, relatively close. Okay. Here is the guy. And everything. And then the other ones are more or less usual figures with. Fortunately, on these days, plenty of them use beard and this general's uniform, so it's not very difficult. And of course, the man itself is here. Here is Robert E. Lee, also with his famous figures around him. Again, based on the movie. I think it's not far from reality. His flag also. And of course, this is Thompson House, which was the first headquarters that Lee had during the battle. In terms of figures, or important ones at least, I think we have seen almost everything. But I would like to find, there's still someone that I can find here. Barksdale. Barksdale is here. Also another figure from Strelets R. Here's the guy leading his brigade forward, which will cost him dearly, of course. And then, the rest, as you can see, let's pass my highly professional camera, which is in fact my cell phone, for you to see the mix of figures. Italeri, Revel, Eschi. There are also some airfigs around. You can see over there. And then, of course, one of the pleasures of, for instance, this is a Texan brigade. As you can see, which brigade is this one? It's still in the First Corps, so it is. Robertson Brigade, yeah, with Texans mostly. And one of the pleasures, of course, of this hobby in terms of American Civil War is to find the correct flags for the correct regiments and brigades. Even if this, as I told you before, Fire and Fury is a brigade level game. Of course, there are some generic flags, but many of them are also. This is, I think, from Carolina. I think this is the South Carolina flag, if I'm not mistaken, or Florida. Maybe Florida. I'm not really sure. I don't remember because, as I told you before, I made this collection already many years ago. I don't have everything on my mind to remember it all. So let's continue here with more. For instance, this is another guy here. Of course, you have another very famous character of the battle, Pickett. Let's see if it focuses. Here's the guy. Pickett is here. It's a conversion of Italeri body with another Italeri head and another Italeri arm taken from at least three different figures. And you can see plenty of airfigs. This is one of my oldest divisions. This one is stepping on a field, on a cabbage field or something like that. It is not my happiest basing. This one turned a little bit better. Artillery is here. Mostly it is irregular miniatures, as you can see. More irregular miniatures, but then it comes some Revel also, more irregular miniatures. Then guns are generally plastic, but the limbers are mostly irregular miniatures. So there are in this army, there is 18 of them. There are still, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I need 8 more of these sets of limbers and guns for the reserve artillery. But in fact, the problem of this reserve artillery, both for the Confederates and for the Union, is that they are relatively unnecessary because in the battle, I mean, nor the Union nor the Confederates ever had the full army fighting against each other in each of the 3 days, which means that you can take some for instance some artillery. Imagine from Pickett's division, which only arrived on the 3rd day, and use it as reserve, and others are also. It's another possibility. Then we have here. This is Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Rhodes division, which was in fact the largest of the entire army of Northern Virginia. Then let's go to what? To Johnson. And then, for instance, some of the regiments, very few of the regiments are really used the early uniform. Probably around 1863 it would be completely in tatters. But for instance, this is, let me check, this is 33rd Virginia. I found its uniform, as I found plenty others from the beginning of the war. And so I used the uniform of the 33rd Virginia in the blue figures that you can see, which were a little bit dangerously, could be misleading because they could be confused with Federals. And then, as you can see, I mean, plenty of boxes are used because, I mean, in order to make, for instance, such a brigade, you need plenty of them in the same position from the same box. Some of them are airfix, but others, most of them are artillery. And then there is a change of headdress, as you can see. This figure originally has a kepi, but as you can see, plenty of them have slouch hats, which makes them very, very interesting, I think. This, I think, is the biggest brigade of all. It has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 13 stands, and it is this 26th North Carolina. And it is very big, I think 13, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 12. I think there's one with 13. No, I can't find it. Sorry. Okay. Maybe I'm making a confusion. And let's go to AP Hills with a little bit less sun on this part of my basement. Last division of 3rd Corps, which is Pender's division. More limbers. And you can see, I mean, there are also some irregular miniatures placed in the middle of the stands. You can see them a little bit everywhere. And then I generally opt for instance, firing line is generally firing figures and charging the musket figures. The advancing are some of them are firing, but most of them are obviously advancing. I think the Confederates go very well in an active position. You can imagine them. We can imagine them releasing the rebel yell and things like that. Other times, I mean, I make figures in the same position. For instance, standing. If there are standing figures, they are not obviously they're not logical with running figures next to running figures. For instance, another, I think, nice firing line became this one here. This one is what I was telling you. For instance, it's a firing line, and so many of them, most of them, are in fact doing something about shooting its rifle. These ones are charging. The commander is also charging, so everybody's charging next to the commander. Very active positions again. And this is it. This is my Army of Northern Virginia, a very famous unit of military history. The houses, there's no need for me to show them. I've already showed them in the in the Potomac Army video. So I hope you have enjoyed, and see you next with something else. Eventually, I'm now around several periods at the same time, Pacific and Vietnam at the same time. I mean, I don't know, but probably I will show you something, maybe from the Middle East, from the Gulf War, or something like that next time, because I still have a number of armies to show you. So keep on watching these videos. I hope they give you some satisfaction. I hope they give you at least a part of the satisfaction that they made while building all this stuff. Filming is not my. For sure it's not my career that I would earn money with. So of course it's just a way I like this, because it's a way sometimes when I'm holidays a little bit far, I mean, sometimes I see my videos, and it's a way also to stock information about my collection. Okay, otherwise some of the information of the things that some of the basis, some of the books and basis of this information is lost if I don't make this. It's same with my blog. You can go and see all these maybe 40 articles on how I made all these houses, all these 2 armies for Gettysburg. There are maybe 40. You go to the folder about Gettysburg, and you can see around 40 or 50 posts. I'm not sure about the making of all these armies, with plenty of details. And I like to document this not for vanity, frankly. I like to do this because it's a way for me to keep track of the stuff I make, because frankly, I make a little bit too much stuff. So if I don't make something like this, a blog and for instance, and a YouTube channel, plenty of the information would, from my side, of course, would be eternally lost. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed, and see you next in a different video. Bye bye.